4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
This is Movies First with Alex First.
Scheming and gossip abound in the lavish big screen version of Downton Abbey, where opulence is the byword. First, an admission. I only heard wonderful things about the TV series, but I haven't seen one episode. As a result, it took me some time to work out who was who in the zoo, namely who the characters were and where they fitted into the big picture. Once I did, I sat back and revelled in the pomp and ceremony of the closeted folk that populated the movie. The highly successful TV show created by Julian Fellowes, who's also written this script, ran for 6 seasons, from 2010 to 15. Set in the fictional country estate of Downton Abbey between 1912 and 1926, it focused on the lives of the aristocratic Crawley family and their domestic servants. The film picks up the story in 1927. We return to the great house with the most illustrious guests the Crawley family could ever hope to entertain, namely their Majesties King George V, Simon Jones, and Queen Mary, Geraldine James. With a dazzling parade and lavish dinner to orchestrate, Mary, Michelle Dockery, now firmly at the reins of the estate, faces the greatest challenge to her tenure as head of Downton. The calibre of the visitors causes quite a rumpus below stairs too, and cracks begin to form in the usually well-oiled machine. Mary pleads with the retired Charles Carson, Jim Carter, to return to the house just this once, to oversee this most significant event. But not everything goes to plan. The loyal Downton staff must pull out all the stops in order to ensure success, and that the place they're proud to call home is presented in its greatest light. The King and Queen bring with them a lady-in-waiting whose own story will prove explosive to the Crawleys and the future of Downton. The arrival of royalty is not a coup for all, though. As an erstwhile Irish Republican, Tom Branson, played by Alan Leach, his political sympathies get him into trouble. Inspired by Branson's Republican stance, Daisy, Sophie McShearer, starts her own revolt in the kitchens, and Thomas, Robert James Collier, takes a step back because of Carson's return. His indulgences during his newly found free time have unexpected consequences, and on it goes.
Movies First with Alex First.
I particularly enjoyed the skullduggery and scandal. Undoubtedly the best lines were saved for the incomparable Maggie Smith as the Dowager Countess of Grantham, Violet Crawley, who delivered them with aplomb, as is her wont. Downton Abbey has drama, subterfuge, romance and humour. The most hilarious scene involves a servant so beside himself at attending the King and Queen that he lets the situation get the better of him. As is only to be expected, Downton Abbey looks spectacular. The settings, sets and costumes are eye-watering. The attention to detail incredibly admirable. Towards the end, a lot happens in a short time as the filmmakers bring all subplots to a conclusion with a series of rapid-fire scenes. Everything is perhaps wrapped up a little too nicely and conveniently. I, for one, wouldn't have minded a few loose threads to allow for a sequel. What that says is that I enjoyed the Downton Abbey experience regardless of the clean ending. Directed by Michael Engler, it scores a 7.5 out of 10.
You've been listening to Movies First with Alex First. Subscribe to the full podcast at Stitcher and iTunes or your favourite podcast distributor. This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.